Okay, so event day. This is what all your hard work is about. However, there's still some work to do before the start of your event. So you need to set up the event, check everything is in place, sort out arrival and sign on, and any pre-race communication and preparation. So on race day, it's useful to get on site early, even the day before if you can, just to enable proper setup. But bear in mind, you don't have to do all the course setup yourself. Delegate tasks and have a team to support you with this. Make sure your setup team know the race route or the course though, and have a copy of the risk assessment, just to ensure that all the locations are set up with the appropriate signage that's in the risk assessment. It's best practice to have the same team to take down all the signage after your event, just to ensure that the venue or the race route or the course is completely cleared and no signs are left out in the countryside or on the course. So on the morning of your event, you'll need to check the race route and the event HQ. And any differences or changes to the risk assessments that you've uploaded need to be recorded on a dynamic risk assessment. So things that you might include on your dynamic risk assessment might be if any temporary traffic lights have appeared on the route. So this is also why it's quite a good idea to notify your local authority, because they might be able to tell you if this is going to happen around the date of your event. And other things that might be included on your dynamic risk assessment are if there's been any weather damage to the course. So as I've said, you'll already have uploaded your route risk assessment and your event risk assessment to the BC system. And then you'll complete the dynamic risk assessment with the Chief Commissaire before the race, and the Chief Commissaire will return the dynamic risk assessment to BC. So you'll be there to troubleshoot on the day in case anything arises. Hopefully it won't, and you'll get a lovely day drinking coffee or tea or juice and just chatting to everyone at your event, making sure everyone's okay. So your marshals, the eyes and ears of your event. It's a good idea to have all officials and marshals and key volunteers sign on and state which role they're going to be performing at your event. Again, a template for this can be found on your dashboard. It's good practice to have your event team sign on and sign out again. You've got a duty of care for all your volunteers. So by having them sign in and sign out, it means that you won't leave them stranded out on the course after your event, especially if it's things like a TT that's on over the course of the day. You need to make sure that your marshals get home safe again afterwards. So your marshal briefings, you'll appoint a chief marshal and they'll lead your marshal briefings. Try to hold all these briefings in a quiet area away from distractions. The briefings will confirm the marshal roles and their marshal point on the course. So your chief marshal will also ensure that your marshals have all the equipment that they need and that they know where they're going. Try to set realistic expectations of your marshals. So things to consider: how they're going to get to their marshal point. Will they get there themselves? Or will you have to transport them? It's also nice to provide a kit list for your marshal, as Ashley said. So things that they need to bring with them, just to ensure their comfort during the day. So things like a camping chair, waterproofs, it's not always sunny in Scotland, comfy shoes and midgie repellent. You might be able to get this from sponsorship, which is even better. Marshal welfare is also really important. Your chief commissaire will also brief your marshals and they'll brief them on keeping safe during the event, what to expect during the race, and also include any communication with the public in case any members of the public come up and chat to your marshals during the event. So like I've said, the chief marshal will distribute any marshal clothing, radios if you're giving these out to your marshals, and maps of the course with their locations marked on. Okay, the start area. You'll have set this out before the event, and this is where the rider briefing will take place just before the race start. And the chief commissaire will conduct the race briefing. All riders need to attend the rider briefing. This is essential. So it just ensures that all riders are fully informed of any race-specific information or notices before their race. So this could include things that you've picked up in the dynamic risk assessment that riders need to be aware of. However, in some disciplines, such as downhill mountain bike, time trials, or BMX, a rider briefing isn't really practical. In time trials, you have riders separated over the course of a morning, so they won't all arrive at the same time before the start of the first rider going off. So in these circumstances, you could communicate essential information to riders at the sign-on, or the starter could communicate this to them before they start. The Chief Commissaire will check that all marshals are in place and the convoy is ready. So it's a really good idea to set up your convoy in the order that they'll drive in the event so that there's no confusion when the race rolls out. And the Chief Com will also do radio checks just to make sure that everyone is, radios are working and everyone can hear what's being said over the radios. Okay, so the race is now underway. As Ashley mentioned, you as the event organizer should not be doing any other role during the race. So you should not be timing, you shouldn't be marshalling or doing any other roles that are required for your event. Try to stay on site as much as possible during your event and give yourself as few tasks as possible during the race. The Chief Commissaire and the other commissaires will ensure that the race is contested in a safe and fair manner, and they'll be assisted by your team of marshals. So you're then on standby during the race to deal with any issues that might come up. Hopefully there's none, and you can just continue to enjoy your coffee or your tea. So moving on to the finish area and your judging team. So you'll have set up the finish along with your Chief Commissaire and your judging team, and this will make sure that the race finish is as safe and as fair as possible. The success of your event will be measured by the accuracy of the results, and all riders will expect to see their finish position. So finish judges record the rider numbers in the order that they cross the line, and the chief judge will lead the team of judges to make sure this is possible. Really important point, please do not dismantle the finish before all riders are finished. There's nothing more demoralizing than crossing the line with half of the finish started to be cleared away. The timekeeper will time the riders and all the races and provide times promptly to assist with the compilation of accurate results. And the Chief Commissaire will then check and confirm these results, taking into account any sanctions or time penalties that they've given out during the race. Again, hopefully there's none of these, but they do sometimes happen. And then it's your responsibility as the organizer to circulate the full result for publication and upload the results to the event management system. So after the race, all commissaires, marshals and other officials should stay in position until they're told that the race is finished and it's safe for them to leave their post. So then they should return to the HQ, return all equipment and attend a debrief, and also complete the sign out form so that you know that everyone is accounted for. Podiums. This is a really important part of your event. So try to think strategically about your podium timings. For example, you could hold the podium for smaller races along with the bigger races so that there's lots of spectators there to watch and just congratulate the riders that are on the podiums. The podium's also your chance as the event organizer to say your thank yous. So you can thank your sponsors, the riders, your volunteers and officials, because without them, it would have been a lot harder for you to put on the event. And then you also award the prizes. So have your prize envelopes ready and already written up, because this will save you a lot of hassle in the day, and then you can just quickly write on the rider names against the prizes that they've won. Take photos if you want, and if you've had sponsors, try to include any sponsorship branding in the background so that this will also appear in your photographs. It's a good idea to include in the race manual when the podium presentations will take place. Try to hold these as soon as possible after the event is finished, but again, not before all riders have finished. And then it's time to coordinate your setup team to clear the course. They'll then take down all the signage and course tape, pick up any litter around the course. Hopefully there isn't too much of this and that riders have taken their litter home with them. And then go home, put your feet up and smile. Your event's been a success and all your hard work has been worth it. However, there's just a few more tasks to do as the event organizer, even though your event is over. First of all, relax. All your hard work's paid off, like I said. Everyone's had a great day and everything's gone smoothly. Scottish Cycling relies on event organisers like yourselves, so a big thank you in advance from us for putting on your event. So you should upload your results to the British Cycling system. You can also publish your results on social media or your club website, but remember, do not include riders' British Cycling numbers or any personal information on the results that you publish online. Only British Cycling needs the rider numbers and personal info. You should complete your levy form. Remember to pay your levies within 7 days of your event. Pay any expenses that were agreed before your event. So you might have agreed to pay your convoy driver's mileage expenses. And remember to have included a contingency for this in your budget. You can publish a race report and post the photos on social media, and you can also do this via the event management system. Debriefs are also really important to help you learn from what went well and maybe what went not so well during the event. And you could even survey riders for their views on how they found your event. This can help you learn for next time and how you can improve on things for the future, because hopefully you'll have enjoyed it so much organising your event that you'll come back and organise an event next year. So even though your event's just finished, or you might not have even put on your event this year, we hope that you will have organised an event next year for us. So keep in mind the calendar compilation that's going to begin in August for next year.